So when Bill Cook was speaking this morning at 9 o'clock, I thought, wow, he had this really great 50-slide presentation and covered everything. And then the last hour, Patrick Terry had another fantastic 50-slide presentation, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really good. In fact, I think it's quite different than the one you gave last August, isn't it? And I thought, what am I going to do? And so the answer to that question is we took our kids to a John Lithgow one-man play a couple weeks ago. And he does a show where he talks about his childhood growing up in a theatrical family, then talks about his father and dealing with his father who was 80 and Lithgow was about 50 and dealing with a terminal illness. And he tells two long stories. The first one is by the British author P.G. Wodehouse. It's called Uncle Fred Flits By. And it's a young man in London who is absolutely terrified because his Uncle Fred is coming to visit. And it turns out every time Uncle Fred visits, it's a series of wild-eyed catastrophes and crazy harebrained schemes. So this is how we look to ourselves in the mirror if we're starting something new in biotech. Potentially, this is how you look to the investor. Steve Burrell of a large VC firm here in San Francisco teaches a course at UCSF. And one of the slides is, what is the regulatory pathway? How will the company get its product approved? What will be the reimbursement landscape? So if you're askew to what that fairly cryptic landscape is, you'll look like a crackpot to that guy who's evaluating you as a venture capitalist. So we're actually a different way of saying what was Patrick Terry's roadmap slide. So this is actually an example from a physician's service. And I'm leading with this deliberately because people are talking about putting molecular tests on what's called the physician fee schedule. And it kind of leads in that direction. But some general concepts apply even without that. You're the CEO of a med device startup, and you say you've got this value proposition to a payer, even to someone acquiring your company. Currently, condition X is treated by surgery. The charges for this surgery are $30,000. Our product avoids the surgery for most patients. It's a physician office procedure. We're efficient with a disposable cost of $1,000 and capital equipment of $25,000 for that office to buy. A fair price is $5,000 paid to the MD. After all, we're replacing a $30,000 surgery. We have more data than our competitors and should be paid more, thank you. Now, the way the payer might look at this, or Medicare executive might look at this, first, currently it's treated by surgery, but it's also treated by drugs, watchful waiting, and sometimes goes away. Second, the charges for the surgery are $30,000. Yes, they are, but Medicare pays $10,000 and private insurers pay $12,000 or $15,000. Our product avoids surgery most of the time. Stop. For how long? Does it delay surgery for a year? Do they get surgery anyway? You have $1,000 of disposables, $25,000 of capital equipment. I'm not going to drain that frame. But Medicare has a way of calculating based on your capital equipment and your physician time and your minutes of nurse time, and it would come out to about $1,400 for the service you just described. Although you've asked for a price of $5,000, Medicare will actually calculate a price. It's an Excel spreadsheet. It's not a market value. We have more data and should be paid more. There's one CPT code in 3 competing companies, and very few or none of them escape the price of the CPT code. The second case study, Bill was just here with his iPad. Several of you have iPads. What if you wanted to read an MRI or a PET scan on an iPad?